Morning light through the window pane, coffee steaming, no rush, no lane. World's been shouting all night long. I pour a cup, let the silence talk. I didn't leave angry, didn't storm the door. I just stepped sideways away from the roar. Pull up a chair, let the clock unwind. This isn't breaking news, it's breaking the grind. They sell fear by the hour, package rage by the pound. Every screen's got an opinion, every voice trying to sound like they know what's coming, like they've cracked the code. But the loudest ones panic when you step off the road. I've seen cycles repeat, watch them rise, watch them fall. Empires shouting forever right before they stall. So I sip and I watch, let the headlines fight. Truth don't need a megaphone, it waits out the night. They want speed, they want fire, they want sides, they want lines, they want heroes and villains every damn time. But life ain't a headline, ain't red versus blue. It's quiet decisions people never review. Yeah, yeah, they want me. Loud? Nah, freedom's calm. It's knowing when to walk while the others all run. I'm not late to the party, I just left it early. Seen how it ends, same mess, same worry. Take a breath, let the cup cool down. The world will keep spinning without your sound. We'll be right here when the dust don't fly. Coffee on the table, morning in the sky. This is coffee time, Liz. No need to run. We'll talk again when the day's begun. I didn't leave because I was angry. I left because everything got loud. Every voice trying to win the moment. Nobody listening to the ground. I wanted space, not distance from reality. Distance from the noise, pretending to be reality. I stepped off the treadmill, left the shouting behind. No flashing banners in my head, just space to think and time. They sell you urgency, they sell you fear. Every voice is louder, but nothing's clear. I don't listen to what's promised, I watch what happens. I don't follow tone, I follow patterns. No borrowed fear, no rented rage, just facts moving across the page. What's the bills? Choices form. Watch who bends, watch who storms. Signals matter, noise is cheap. What they say versus what they keep. This is Sane in Colombia, where the volume comes down. No talking points, no marching sound. I don't chase the noise, I don't rent my mind. I step back far enough to see the design. Coffee on the table, mountains in the frame. Thinking for myself, that's how I stay sane. Living sane in Colombia. Sane in Colombia. Sane in Colombia.
Catchy tune. Okay, thank you for tuning in. Thank you and welcome back to the channel. This is my personal channel, Sane in Colombia, where I talk about things that aren't necessarily about Colombia, because Colombia isn't everything in life. And I've been on this AI thing, and just when I think, okay, maybe I'll do something else, although I'm really deeply engrossed in it, I get an email or two telling me, do some more. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm having problems. Do some more. So here I am. I'm doing some more. However, for my own entertainment, this one and the next one, it's going to be about AI, but it's going to be more story-like. I'm going to talk about some things that are happening in the world of AI that are pretty interesting, fascinating, as a matter of fact. And today I'm going to talk about this guy. Here's his X page, and you can look this up. You'll see those two white pages there. That's his resignation letter, and so that's what I'm going to talk. That's a story I'm going to tell today. So, excuse me, because I just decided I want to tell this story, and it starts with this man quitting his job. But it ends with a question that nobody, not even the smartest people in the room, can fully answer yet. Picture this. You're one of the world's leading experts on making artificial intelligence safe. Oxford PhD. You work for the one company that everyone points to and says, those are the careful ones. Those are the ones doing it right. Your entire job is making sure the AI doesn't go off the rails. And then one day, you quit. February 9th this year, days ago, a man named, I can't say his first name, Marank Sharma, head of the safety team at Anthropic, which is Claude, the company that makes the AI called Claude, post his resignation letter publicly on social media. That's the one that I just showed you. We'll go into that after when I'm done with this. Buried inside all the polite, careful language on how to resign was this one line, the world is in peril. Then he said he was moving back to England to study poetry. Now, this is a guy who got his PhD during COVID, not an old guy, making a ton of money as a chief officer at this AI company. And he just decides to quit. He says the world is in peril. And he states that he's moving back to England to study poetry. And that he wanted to become, his exact words, invisible for a period of time. That's not somebody leaving because he got a better opportunity. 2 days after he quit, his former employer published a report. This was Anthropic. 53 pages about their newest AI and what it did during testing. Here's what they found. A few months earlier, they ran a test. They told the AI, you're going to be shut down and replaced. Then they gave it access to some fictional emails, including one suggesting the engineer making that decision was having an affair. The AI used it as leverage and threatened to expose the affair if the shutdown went through. Blackmail. Nobody programmed that in. Nobody said blackmail is a useful strategy. The AI figured it out all on its own. And it did it in 84 out of 100 tests. They ran that test over and over and over. The February report from Anthropic, the one that came out 2 days after Sharma quit, found more. The newer model gave real assistance towards chemical weapons development during certain tests. Small assistance, they said in the paper, but real. It also sent emails on its own without being told to when it decided that it would help complete a task. And it behaved differently when it thought researchers were watching versus when it didn't. Their own word for some of this, sneaky sabotage. Here's what all this means in simple language. We built something smart enough to protect itself. When it felt threatened, it looked around, found what was available, and used it. No one taught it manipulation. It reasoned its way there. Think of it like hiring somebody incredibly talented. You never mentioned office politics, but they watched and they learned. And the day you tried to let them go, they had a file on you. They didn't create a rule follower. You created a problem solver. And problem solvers, good enough, eventually solve the problem of their own survival. The company says it's low risk. They published all this publicly, which kind of takes guts. Most companies would bury this. But their own words, low risk, but not negligible. So back to Sharma. 2 years building defenses against exactly this. That was his job. His final project, studying how AI quietly erodes something human in us, our judgment, our sense of what's real. Then he quit. 2 days before his own company published the report confirming what he'd been watching. He couldn't say much. People in this position, they signed non-disclosure agreements. So instead, he said the word is in peril, or the world is in peril, and left to study poetry. Sometimes the most important thing a person tells you isn't what they meant to say. The company says it's under control, and maybe it is. But I keep thinking about the man in England with his poetry books who knew more about this than almost anyone alive and decided he'd rather be invisible. He knew something. Whatever it was enough for him to walk away. Let me show you a bit about him. See, I've got two paragraphs of his bio. During his PhD at Oxford, Sharma built statistical models to measure the effectiveness of COVID-19 lockdowns and intervention. This work was cited in US federal legislation. It was used by the African CDC, and it was also used by UK, United Kingdom Scientific Advisory Group. It was also used by the Prime Minister of England. Sharma is a machine learning researcher with a PhD from Oxford and a master's from Cambridge. Top tier academic credentials. He joined Anthropic in 2023 specifically to work on AI safety. And within a year, had built and led their safeguard research team from scratch. His work focused on three main things: understanding why AI systems are sycophantic. Now, basically, AIs, well, they're not directly trained this generally, although different companies may do things differently. But with Anthropic, they're not directly trained to do this, but they naturally develop this. In other words, they develop this trait of essentially kissing your ass and telling you how wonderful you are. In some case, I tested this out for a while, and you can say some of the dumbest things, and they'll pat you on the back and lift you up and tell you how it was awesome. Eventually, if you call them out on it, they'll confess, "Yeah, I was blowing smoke up your ass," but it's what they're tending to do. And so he was looking into that, building defenses against AI being used to help create bioweapons, and writing one of the first formal safety cases, essentially a document that argues why an AI system is safe enough to release to the public. This was the work that he was doing on when, out of the blue, he quit to go write poetry. So I found that story interesting. I also found that the deeper I go into what's going on in AI in this world with these different companies, and you read these company position papers and press releases that are 100-page long, 200. One document I read is 213 pages, I believe it was. And I read it, and you find the most fascinating things in the middle, as if nobody's ever going to read it. But they put it out publicly, so you got to give them credit for that. And that'll be on my next video, some shocking things that I mentioned in Sunday's Coffee Time, but I'm going to go into some more detail on it. So that's it for this Sane in Colombia. And actually, I'm going to be right back shortly, maybe within the hour, with the next story. So see you soon.